Hello, boys and girls. It's a wonderful Wednesday, or as Claudia wrote in her letter to me, it's a wonderful, wacky Wednesday. Let's begin this wonderful, wacky Wednesday by saying our pledges together. So please stand, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Oklahoma flag. I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people. So we ended our session yesterday by solving some math problems. So let's begin with some more math today. Do you remember those two words we added to your writing words booklet? Two math words, parallel and perpendicular. Remember two lines that run side by side and never cross either vertically or horizontally. This is a set of lines that will never cross. This is a pair of lines that will never cross. These are parallel. Remember the two L's in parallel? Kind of a good way to remember. Lines that are side by side that do not cross. The other word, perpendicular, are lines that do eventually cross. We used the example of an intersection when you pull up to a four-way stop sign. The reason for that is the streets are going to intersect or cross. If cars don't stop, then there's going to be a wreck because those streets are eventually going, or those cars are eventually going to run into one another if they don't stop and let one street go at a time or one car go at a time. So parallel and perpendicular are two words that we've talked about this week. 2.5. So this number, 2.5, is an example of what kind of number? A blank number, a mixed number. And a mixed number is simply a whole number. 2 is a whole number, two whole things, and then a fraction, 1/2. 1/2 of a whole. So a whole number plus a fraction gives us a mixed number. Let's use equal groups to do a quick multiplication problem. How many groups do you see? 1, 2, 3. 3 groups. How many are in each group? 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. 3 groups times 6 in each group gives us a product, and remember, product is the word for an answer to a multiplication problem. 3 times 6 equals 18. Now, let's go back to fractions, and if my videographer would zero in on this pizza. A pizza is just a wonderful way to help you learn fractions. So draw a circle on your paper or your whiteboard. Think of it as a pizza that you're going to divide into 8 slices. So make your dividing lines. Make sure that you have divided it into 8 slices. Once you've done that, shade 3 of the slices. There's my 8 slices. I'm going to shade 1, 2, 3 of them. How many did we start with? We started with 8. 8 parts. How many did we shade? 1, 2, 3 slices. What fraction does that give us? 3/8. 3/8 of the pizza is shaded. Okay, I'm going to give you a thinking question. Rachel is thinking of a number that comes between 20 and 30. It comes between 20 and 30, and its digits add up to 10. What number is it? So it's between 20 and 30, and the two digits of that number add up to 10. For example, 21 comes between 20 and 30. What's 2 plus 1? It's 3. That doesn't equal 10. So think about what two digits would equal 10. The number is 28. 2 plus 8 equals 10. And now another thinking question. The Wilsons' garage has 1 car, 2 bicycles, and 1 tricycle. How many wheels are there in all? So I'll say those things again, and you're thinking about how many wheels each of these vehicles would have. 1 car, 2 bicycles, 1 tricycle. How many wheels altogether? If you came up with the number 11, you are correct. 1 car has 4 wheels. There's 2 bicycles. Each bicycle has 2. So 2 plus 2. And then a tricycle, we know that the prefix tri, T-R-I, means 3 of something. Triceratops, that we studied earlier in our dinosaur unit, has 3 horns. A tricycle has 3 wheels. 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 11 is your answer on our thinking question. One last thinking question. I want you to put these 4 numbers on your paper. 4, 9, 1, and 7. Those are the 4 numbers we're going to work with. Arrange those numbers to make the largest possible number and the smallest possible number. The largest and the smallest using those 4 numbers. Think about what we've learned in place value. Here's your largest number. 9's actually in the thousands place. Thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. 9,741 is the largest number we can make with those 4 numbers. The smallest, 1,479. Lots of times we're asked to put numbers in order from largest to smallest, from smallest to largest. This is an exercise in doing that, keeping in mind place value. 1,479, 9,741. From largest to smallest, from smallest to largest. You have seen the word array. Maybe you've seen the word array, A-R-R-A-Y, on some of your Saxon math papers. I have a 5-minute video for you to watch about what an array is. So let's get that going. While I am pulling this up, go ahead and get out your writing words booklet and write the word array in your writing words booklet.
Boys and girls, this is Teacher Mike with Kids Academy, and today I'd like to teach you about arrays. But before we get to today's worksheet, let's talk about what an array really is. An array is just a group of objects, pictures, and numbers that are arranged in rows and in columns. And a rectangular array is an array that is arranged in equal columns and rows, and it also takes the shape of a rectangle. So, an example of a rectangular array would be if we had pictures of cats and we had 3 cats in the first row, well, that would mean we would also have to have 3 cats in the second row, and 3 cats in the third row, and 3 cats in the fourth row. We can make as many rows as we want as long as there are 3 in each row, because that's how we've created our array. Now, to find out how many there are in total, we can just count up all of our cats and see how many there are in total. Let's count them up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Putting objects in arrays makes them easy to count and also will help with multiplication later on. So let's read the directions for our worksheet and get started right away. What's an array? Check all the pictures that show rectangular arrays. So let's look at our first picture. In our first picture, I see a circular group of stars. Now, I know that it has to have columns and rows, and I don't see any columns and rows in this picture, so this is not an array. Our second picture shows houses, and in this picture, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in the first row, and there's also 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in the second row too. Now, we have to make sure there's an equal number in each row and in each column. So let's go ahead and check. Well, I know that there's 4 in each row because we just counted. And I can clearly see that there's 2 in each column. That shows me that this is an array. So let's go ahead and check this picture. Let's look at our next picture of smiley faces. In this picture, there is not an equal number in each row. You can see because in our first row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 smiley faces. And in our second row, there's only 2 smiley faces. I remember, there has to be an equal number in each row, meaning for this to be an array, there would have to be 4 smiley faces in each row, and there's not. So this isn't an array. Let's move on to the next picture. In our next picture, I see snails. Let's take a closer look and see if this is really an array. In this array, there's 1, 2, 3 in the first row. There's 1, 2, 3 in the second row, and there's 1, 2, 3 in the third row. Okay, we're off to a good start. Now let's check the columns just to be sure. I think this is an array just by the way it looks. It looks nice and even, like an array should. But let's count the snails in the columns just to be sure. There's 1, 2, 3 in the first column, 1, 2, 3 in the second column, and 1, 2, 3 in the third column. This is definitely a rectangular array. Let's go ahead and give this a check. Let's look at our next picture. This picture, although it does look like a square or a rectangle, has nothing filled in the middle. It's completely blank. So, if we were to count the number in the first row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we look at the second row, we can see there's just 2. So this is not an array. Finally, if we look at our last picture of beach balls, This does look like a rectangular array as well, but let's take a closer look and count the rows and the columns to make sure it's equal. In our first row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we look closely in all the other rows, there's also 5 beach balls. So that's a good start. I'm thinking this is an array. But let's count the numbers in the columns just to be sure. In the first column, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there better be 4 in all the other columns to make this an array. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second column, and 4 in the third, fourth, and fifth. So the columns and rows all contain equal numbers. So if this is an array, let's go ahead and check this as correct. Remember, boys and girls, when you're looking to see if an object is an array or not, make sure it has an equal number in each row and an equal number in each column. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Subscribe to our channel.
All right, hopefully that helped you to understand what that word array means, A-R-R-A-Y. The very last thing we need to do is add our word a day. And the word we're adding today is the word clever. Clever. C-L-E-V-E-R. So please put the word clever in your writing words booklet. A clever person is smart and can quickly figure things out. So listen to the sentence. The clever police officer looked at the clues and figured out who had robbed the store. Clever is describing the police officer. And in this sentence, the police officer is a noun. It's a person. And a word that tells more about a noun is what part of speech? It's an adjective. So clever is being used as an adjective. Would you be clever if you learned all of your spelling words in one day? Yeah, I think so. And I know some of you can do that. Would you be clever if you decided what to eat for breakfast? Not so much. If you guessed the ending to a story before anyone else? Maybe so. Maybe that shows you were really paying attention and really thinking about what was going to happen. If you invented a homework machine, yeah, I'd say you were pretty clever if you could do that. If you ate all your lunch at recess, no, that's just kind of a common thing to do. So a clever person is smart and can quickly figure things out. And we're going to end with a few facts. Last Wednesday was Earth Day. And I know Miss Pullman mentioned that to you. And I found just a few little things on one of my Smarty Pants cards that go along with that Earth Day. When you are finished using something, you don't always have to throw it in the garbage. Some items, such as cans and bottles, can be turned into new things. Is this called cleaning up, littering, or recycling? It is recycling. What holiday is about making the world a cleaner and healthier place to live? Halloween, April Fool's Day, or Earth Day that we celebrated last Wednesday? Which one of these causes pollution? Running a car engine, breathing, or planting trees? Running a car engine causes pollution. In big cities where lots of people are driving, there's more pollution than out in the open air. And the last question, which Dr. Seuss book is about the importance of taking care of the earth? Is it Green Eggs and Ham? Is it The Cat in the Hat? Or is it The Lorax? It's The Lorax. And the last fact, food waste such as fruit and vegetable peels can be turned into soil, and this is called composting. Your parents may be doing some of this if they're planting gardens or plants or flowers right now. The new soil can be used to grow new things. Composting is that word. Thank you, boys and girls, and I'll say goodbye for now.